Welcome back to FM23. In this episode of our Athletic Club Save, we begin Season 2. Can we match our performances of Season 1? And how will the addition of the Champions League affect the players? If you do enjoy the video, please like, subscribe and comment. And without further ado, let's get going. We are now just a few days away from the beginning of the second season. Obviously, we've got the Champions League, which we actually go through to the group stage automatically for. So that's an added bonus that there's no qualifying rounds. Pre-season has been okay. We drew against Lyon and lost against West Ham. Otherwise, it is what it is. It's pre-season. Looking at the schedule we've got ahead, we start with Getafe and Celta, Vigo, and then we've got Barcelona, Real Madrid, Real Sociedad. So that's a big three. Big run of 3 games, even with Sevilla, who are predicted to finish above us in the league table. So September is going to be a pretty busy month, and also the Champions League games starting there. I think the first Champions League game is between the Real Madrid and the Real Sociedad game. So it's definitely going to be a tough first month and a half of the season. So it's going to be key to get off to a good start. In terms of transfers, so in terms of players we brought in, we signed Enrico Astigaraga from Real Sociedad, a young defender, one for the future. We've then sent him out on loan as well, just to get a bit more experience. We also signed John Pacheco, another centre-half from Real Sociedad, more close to the first team, which, given some of the players we've let go, we needed some extra depth there. Another one for the future, but closer to being ready for the first team. And another one for the future, we signed Carlos Lumbareza, just as a centre forward. Looks like he could be a decent prospect. If not, then he can play for the B and C team. In terms of players that have gone out, so we sold Leku because he went to leave. Montero and Santos were out of contract. We sent Julian John Guerrero and Nico Serrano, both key players that are going to be big in the future of the club. Sent them out on loan to get some more first team experience where they can play every week. And then basically we've sent out a load of players out on loan as well. In terms of, we did release an awful lot of players, 29 players left at the end of last season, mostly from the B and C teams. Oscar DeMarcos, who was vice captain when we took over, has retired at the end of the season. So we've lost a bit of depth at right back. But overall, going into the season, fairly happy with the squad we've got. A lot, very similar to, well, almost identical at the top end of the pitch to what we had last season. We've added a couple of extra defenders. We've had a couple of defenders come back from loan spells last season as well. So we've strengthened a bit there. We've obviously lost Ander Herrera, whose loan spell finished with PSG, so he's gone back to PSG. We tried to sign him on a permanent deal, but couldn't get close to agreeing a wage with him. So what we'll probably find is that Sunset, who was so good last season in both the number 10 role and also in that box-to-box role from midfield, will probably fulfil that box-to-box role more often this season. We've made it to the draw for the Champions League groups. We've played 2 league games so far this season, and we're currently sat top of the table. We've picked up 2 victories in those first 2 games. So the first game against Getafe was really quite a drab game. Bilabo missed a penalty for us, but Sunset scored a deflected goal in the second half to give us the victory. Against Celta, the first half was much the same as the previous game. It was very drab, not an awful lot happening. And then we opened the scoring with Inaki Williams. They equalised with some bad defending on 79 minutes. And then we picked up another 2 goals late on just to secure a 3-1 win. So it puts us into a good position going forward with obviously the next games being Barcelona, Real Madrid, Real Sociedad and Sevilla, and with the Champions League games to slot in there as well. So moving on to the draw for the Champions League. draw. I'm assuming we are in pot. Yeah, we're in pot 4. Aston Villa qualified for the Champions League. So what's in the other pot? See who we want to avoid. I mean, obviously we can't draw Real Madrid, but you're probably looking at wanting Benfica or Lazio in pot 1. Pot 2, Leipzig or Porto maybe. But if we manage to avoid any of those big names as well as any of the big names in pot 1, we're going to have done well. Pot 3, pretty happy with any of them apart from maybe Milan. Alright, so we're starting the draw. So Benfica are the first out. Real Madrid, Liverpool. So Group D, E. So we're not going to get Benfica. We're not going to get Leipzig. That would be a horrible group, Liverpool and Juventus. That one might be okay. At least we're not going to get Bayern Munich. We're not going to get Milan, that's good. We're not going to get Shakhtar. I think we're probably going to end up in Group C. It's going to be Group C, D, E, F, or G. G's maybe not too bad. So I think we're getting this next group. Or we didn't, thankfully. We're going to get Man City, aren't we? No. So we've got PSG, Porto, Club Brugge, and us. So not too. I mean, it could have been worse. We could have been in that group of Liverpool and Juventus. But PSG and Porto and Club Brugge, no easy fixtures there. It is also transfer deadline day today, and we have been able to do a bit of business already before the Champions League draw. In that Ander Herrera terminated his contract with PSG by mutual consent. So we then picked him up, considering he was after 100,000 when we tried to sign him. When we had an offer accepted by PSG to get him for 29,500. Obviously, we've only got him to the end of the year because of how the board wants 1-year contracts for people over the age of 34. But hopefully, he can provide something similar to what he provided last season in helping us get qualified for the Champions League. We've made it to the opening Champions League fixture of the season. We're at home to PSG, and to be honest, we couldn't be going into the game in any better form. So we'd started the season with the victory against Getafe and against Celta. We followed that up with a 4-1 hammering of Barcelona, and then a 1-1 draw against Real Madrid, where they were having to hammer at us at the end of the game to try and get that equaliser. So we're still top of the table with 10 points from 4 games. Interestingly, Barcelona are down in 17th with 1 win, which was actually in their most recent game. Our victory over them in the 3rd game of the season had kept them bottom of the table with 3 defeats from 3 games. Another interesting point, our next league game after this PSG game is against Real Sociedad, our big local rivals, who are sat 19th with 1 point from 4 games. So hopefully we can continue the good form going in the league, and hopefully we can get a decent result in this first Champions League game. We've had to make one change from the team that started the last game against Real Madrid. Javi Lopez picked up a bit of a knock in that game and isn't fit enough to play. or fit enough to start at least. So Yuri's coming at left back. But other than that, it's the same team that started each one of our league games so far this season. They've got Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe. Right, and we're underway. They've already had a player booked. Kappa in loads of space on the right hand side. Into Munayin, Inaki Williams, Bilabo. Good save. We've got the ball out to Yuri on the left hand side. He's giving the ball away to Messi, which isn't something you really want to do. Ramos. Back to Donnarumma. Kimpembe. We've nicked the ball back. Inaki Williams is driving forward. Sunset. Munayin. What a finish that is. Definitely what was deserved given the chances we've created so far. Sunset into Munayin. Takes a couple of touches and then just smashes it into the top corner. We're doing well to force them back and stopping them getting the ball into Mbappe, Neymar and Messi too much, but whether we can keep that up for the full game or not is a different matter. Ramos, plenty of time in the ball to Verratti, wide to Hakimi. That was rather predictable after I said that, wasn't it? So we head clear. Hakimi wins it. Verratti wins it. Mbappe wins it. Come on. You got to do better than that. And Munayin with the free kick. And Donnarumma saves from Inaki Williams. Oh, Villabra's nicked it off Marquinhos. Oh! Yuri's giving the ball away to Hakimi. Mbappe to Neymar. They've had 2 real chances and scored 2 goals. Right, so we made a couple of changes at half time just to try and get us back into the game here. Simon to Kappa. Venkador. What a ball. Raul Garcia. No. It's a lovely ball by Venkador over the top. Raul Garcia, one touch, and then smashes it past Donnarumma. And that's his back level. How on earth was there no one in the box apart from Mbappe? It's an acres of space. Ouch. Neymar with the free kick. I mean, given where the goalkeeper started, that was always going to be a goal. But Inaki Williams. And we're going to concede another goal in the break here, aren't we? We knock that back now because we're not going to get back into this. So, undoubtedly one of the toughest games in the group. Everything started so well and then fell apart in that second half. Hopefully it doesn't affect the league form, and hopefully we can do better in the other Champions League games. We bounced back from that PSG game with a very comfortable victory over Real Sociedad 2-0 in the league. Dominated the game. They didn't have a single shot on target in the whole 90 minutes. Goals from Bilabo and Fixture in the first half were enough to secure the victory, but we were by far and away the better team in that game. Next up, we've got Sevilla. So we're still sitting first in the table, and Sevilla are down in 13th. So hopefully we can put on another decent performance and come away with another victory. We're making a couple of changes from the team that played the last game. The last game, Inigo Martinez was injured, so Unai Nunez came in. We're going to give John Pacheco the start, his first start in the league for us. Yuri's come in for Javi Lopez, who's picked up an injury against Real Madrid, missed the PSG game, played the last game, but not fully fit, so no sense in. Hopefully we can get off to a decent start in this away game and continue the good run of form we're on. I don't think I've ever seen a free kick like that in Football Manager. Down the side like that for the centre half to claim a penalty. Vivian to Kappa, Inaki Williams, Sunset, back to Inaki Williams. Now that one's surely a penalty. Muniain, Sunset, Garcia, Inaki Williams, Bilabo. What a finish. Surely that's not offside. Lovely little play there. Inaki Williams slides it through and Bilabo just whips it into that top corner. Yuri's headed clear, but Lamella's picked it up. What was the goalkeeper doing there? We're going to half-time 1-0 up. Probably slightly lucky to start the second half and see if we can perform a little bit better. Right, Pacheco. So it turns out the young defender that I took off didn't commit as bad a mistake as the experienced defender that I brought on. With the corner. Oh, what save. I think that might be the least like a penalty of the 3 penalty appeals we've had. Now, Bilabo missed on the opening day of the season. Get him booked for time wasting, ref. Right, can we get the ball in the box? Oh. That's a bitter pill to swallow because we definitely should have won that game. We battered them, particularly in that second half. And yet, a missed penalty. It's a 1-1 draw. And that's the end of this episode. Join us next time to see if we can keep this league run going and see if we can get our Champions League campaign back on tracks. See you then.